778-8877.
Empowerment with Dr. Josefina Monasterio.
Welcome back to Empowerment with Dr. Josefina, and I'm Laura Guttridge. Now we'd like to take a few moments to thank several of our sponsors. First off, we'd like to thank Sarah and Susan from Salon V for providing us with our lovely hairstyles today.
Yes.
Valerie's on vacation.
Very well deserved.
Yes, I hope she's having lots of fun.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, and Susan. They are located on Easter Lily Drive, of course. And then, of course, we can't forget Jasmine's Boutique for providing Josefina with some of the outfits that you'll see her wearing. They are located on Ocean Drive.
Yes.
Then we can't forget Celeste Antique Shop for
That's
the
right.
antique jewelry today. And then also for upcoming seminars, you can contact Dr. Josefina by email or by telephone. And that number is 778-8877. Got that? Today's lesson, sense of alignment at the emotional level.
Isn't that fascinating?
We can't forget about that, because we always think about, the physical level, which is what we talked about last week, and how important it is to constantly be thinking about those 7 or 8 habits, rather, that we need to do. Very simple habits. We can all achieve them. We reviewed, Dr. Josefina talked about them in the opening today. They were eating regularly, eating lightly.
No smoking.
No smoking. And all the things that we should know.
No drinking.
Moderation.
Sleeping 7 to 8 hours. Exercising regularly. And the most important one, learning how to breathe.
Yes.
Because if you're not breathing, you're dead. Breathing is good for you.
If you think about how many times we must breathe in a lifetime.
Well, let me say, talking about, I'm not coming out of the subject, but talking about breathing, you know how you find peace? Did that sound right? Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. See, you take a deep breath, right at the end of the breath, it's a quietness.
When
when you exhale, see that space between the both breaths, that's why you find peace. And people go all over the place looking for peace. I'm taking a vacation to find peace. I'm walking to San Francisco in the name of peace. And it's right there between the breath, between the inhale and the exhale, that moment of quietness. Isn't that fabulous?
It is, and we can find that peace that you're talking about when we're in the car driving.
Exactly.
When we're pushing the kid in the grocery store.
Right.
I mean, we
when
can
you're
have
waiting,
it
and you know, isn't it amazing that we have within ourselves everything that we need? The only thing you have to do is to watch us.
Like if we're stuck in traffic and we're getting annoyed, take those deep breaths.
Right, between the breath. Okay, that space, that's what peace is all about. Okay, baby, go ahead with your lesson.
According to a study that Dr. Josefina was researching on the psychosomatic, am I saying that right?
Yes, the field of psychosomatic medicine.
Well, I found this part very fascinating in your lesson, that 80 to 90% of all physical illnesses are mentally and emotionally caused.
Exactly.
That's amazing, but my question about all that is it the stress that's brought on by our upset emotions that causes these diseases? It's really the stress, isn't it?
Yes, it's the stress. It's your background. Because see, when you look at it, when we're talking about the emotional level, you're talking about emotions like anger, fear, paralyzed will meaning that you don't move, you don't do things that you want to do, like setting goals and reaching for the stars and following your dreams. So what happened, Laura, at the emotional level, all that stuff is you suck it down when you were a child or in your early childhood. So what happened is when you sucking things down and expressing them, and your life is based on hate and it's based on anger, it's based on fear, and it's based on all these negative emotions, if you don't channel them right, then what happened, that's going to stay inside your body, because that's the container. It's like this bottle. All the negative emotions are in there. So what's going to happen is going to affect everything. It's going to affect the liver. For example, People who are always angry, they suffer from liver problems. People who have a lot of fear, they have kidneys problem because the emotion of anger goes to the liver, the emotion of fear goes to the kidneys, the emotion of grief, people who are grieving all the time, goes to the lungs. And you see people who have heart problems and they're hyperactive, they are type A personality. So what happened? They suffer from heart problems. And it's not that they have a heart attack, it's that they attack their heart. Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah, it is. And it's something that most people just never think about. You never imagine that our emotions could have an actual physical impact on our bodies.
Well, and when you really look at it, you see, well, if I have all these emotions, where are they going?
Right, right.
They inside of you.
They're manifesting.
And not until you practice forgiveness, then you letting go of all this anger that you have against other people or the fears that you have about your life. And some people need help. And if you need help, I can help you. Or you can go to whoever you want to go, but you need to find that sense of self-acceptance to move on and to the next thing, so you you're not suffering from that physical problems because of emotional reasons.
You know, that's probably why in past lessons you said that we are born to naturally be happy, and that's probably the reason for that, because there's a physical benefit from being happy.
Exactly. When you look at the studies, thousands of studies about people with positive energy, positive attitude, people who look at the bright side of life, people who always look at the glass half full instead of half empty. You find these people live longer, they enjoy life more than most people, and they have a wonderful sense of humor, also a sense of humor.
Right.
You know, they don't take everything so deep. You know, I always remind myself this. Angels flight because they take themselves lightly. And we have a tendency to take ourselves so seriously. And when you look at it, you know, you got me going now, because what happened is you are perfect. You have all the potential. You have all the talent. You have this wonderful machine, which is your body, and you have your mind, and you have your emotion, and you have, you know, and then what is it that we do? People look at what's wrong with them. They look at the negative. They look about, you know, I'm not going to amount to all these negative things, instead of really concentrating in what is right with me.
Absolutely. Well, is that where the, you talk a lot about self-concept also in this lesson, and we have an idea of what self-concept is, like how we see ourselves, I suppose, but is there a definition that you have of what, can you sum up what that really means?
Well, the self-concept develops in childhood.
Right.
It's how the children perceive the parents, how the parents treat their children. So it's about, then it goes on, then you start developing a belief system. If your belief system based on your self-concept that it was developed in early childhood, and even before you were born, because all the emotions that a mother is experiencing when she's pregnant, those emotions the child can sense them, can feel them. And those are stories too that I can come up with them and share to you that is the right thing. So the self-concept is that belief system that you develop from early childhood.
And then you also talk about that we have to examine our inner belief system and see if it's in sync with our outer world, how we're living our lives. And if it's not, that's where that alignment that you talk about is thrown off course. So we have to try to get that aligned. So if you're married with somebody, say, to a man that in your core belief system is different, and you are forced to live different lives, but live together.
Yes.
That's where there's a problem.
That's a divorce. But we touch that in the next lesson, okay? In the next program. We need to take, my darling, I love you. That's a good point. We're taking a break, and we'll be right back with the lesson.
Empowerment with Dr. Josefina Monasterio.